What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Equinator here, and welcome to Intermediate Division B, Week 10, or 8th game. I'll be your shoutcaster and host and all that for tonight. I'll be recording and all that. I got Pineapple here with me as the colorcaster.
Hello.
And we got pretty interesting game for you today. We got Yoink versus Overcharged, officially two of the bottom ranked teams in Intermediate B. However, Overcharged has definitely looked like a stronger team in the past couple of weeks. I believe they've been undefeated for like the past 2 or 3 weeks at this point, so they're definitely looking to squeeze their way into playoffs.
Oh yeah, I do believe from looking at standings, what I've heard that the loser of this game does get eliminated from playoffs.
Basically, yeah, so this is a rather high stakes game. Yoink has had ups and downs. They've looked like a pretty mid-table team. So this one's going to be rather tough, especially with a few people in particular in Overcharge, like Romy, Razor Sharp, looking like complete maniacs in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're gonna need a big show and try to prove that they're worthy of the playoffs, and the losing team to show they're better.
Yep, I'm going to be doing the coin flip real quick, and we will get this game underway. Okay, so Overcharge does have first map pick. They get to choose between Ilias and Nepal. Alright, so while we're waiting for the teams to get everything settled, it looks like their starting lineups are all set. For the most part, both of them have a ton of coaches and subs in the spectator, so we might be seeing some subs, especially from Overcharged. They have quite a few players. It seems like Yoink has mostly coaches, from what I could tell. Anyways,
They have a couple subs.
looks like Overcharged is choosing Ilias for now. So can't see match chat quite yet, but I would assume once we get into the map, they're not going to stay quiet anyways. However, it is worth noting that currently, as Cameron in match chat is so kind to point out, that Overcharge is currently 1-11 in control maps, and the one map they won was a map 5. So they don't have a good record. I wouldn't be shocked to see them lose Ilias and then just sweep the rest of the series, or maybe they're just so far above Yoink that they can finally start to pad their control map stats.
Yeah, Yoink would be the team since they are, I guess, the worst team, I guess, technically. So if
Yeah,
they were gonna do it, they do it now.
possibly, yeah. However, Yoink, they tend to rely a little bit more on gimmicks as opposed to standard meta. I mean, they will run meta, but they're not incredible at it. They just kind of play the meta, as opposed to some other teams that actually adapt to the meta and fit in whatever they want with it. That being said, let me just.
I mean, hopefully we see some Hog, maybe on well. You never know.
Possibly, yeah. The meta is a little bit funky this week, as we do have both McCree and May. Yeah, we both have McCree, May, Brig, and Wrecking Ball are banned this week. So, for the most part, I've been seeing a little bit of Hanzo, Reaper, and Doom. Hanzo and Reaper mostly being the big swaps. Their Doom is pretty standard. Some teams have gotten a little bit funky and tried some Sombra. I haven't really seen much Widowmaker. I'm kind of surprised by that, but I guess.
There was a little Widowmaker in novice games. I watched a little bit of the game stream today. I did not see Widowmaker, but there could have been in more games.
Yeah, from what I saw, there really just wasn't that much Widowmaker. Maybe it's because I've noticed a lot of teams are trying to run the double shield now. I've been seeing a lot of Orisa being played. I don't know why, but you figure with Rhine Diva being the standard meta when there's no bans, that I would transfer over into these bans when neither of those tanks are banned. But I guess people just feel like they can get more value out of Orisa
Yeah, maybe I think
sometimes.
without the May, they think they can maybe just set up more and not, I guess, not have that threat of a wall going in front of them or behind them, so they can just kind of bunker up.
Hmm. It looks like we do have both teams ready. We were waiting on Overcharged. I guess they had all left, but now they're back.
Phase.
So let me just. Okay, yeah, we should be good. Yoink said they were ready a long time ago. The entire team said they were ready a long time ago, so we're gonna hop straight into it. Looks like we are at well first. Potentially seeing some hog.
Yeah, let's see some Hog, Lucio. Big environmental kills.
I'm sure we're going to be seeing Lucio a lot tonight. I can't say I've seen very many maps played throughout the weekend that haven't had Lucio. He's just a standard.
Really, the only
pick right
time
now.
there's not a Lucio is when people are running Fire Mercy.
Yeah. However, Yoink has been known to run Fair Mercy in the past. I wouldn't take anything these teams are showing us right now too seriously. They're both in spawn. They can swap whenever they want.
We do see a Hog, though. I hope it comes out.
Possibly. Zakatar, from what I've seen, loves to play that Zarya, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him swap over to that. Seems to be more of a comfort pick for him. I don't think I've seen him play too much Hog. He doesn't seem that comfortable on Diva as compared to like Zarya, so I'm not sure if Hog is one of those that he's happy with
Hog
playing.
does come out.
Okay. I am not shocked at all seeing this composition from Yoink right here. Actually, interesting comp coming out from Overcharged as well. We do have,
Hopefully this Hog can find value.
yeah, we do have Yoink taking up an early position here on the point. They kind of abandoned their shield. A little bit of a misplanning there as they're just kind of caught out. I don't know how Blaze got his turret up there, but I am enjoying that fact. Akimbo and Romy were poking on point a little bit, but it seems like they're going to be giving up the point. Yeah, Yoink just takes early point control. Akimbo's barrier is completely destroyed. So is Romy's. It looks like Yoink is having very good shield pressure at the moment, and at this moment in time, Luxy getting incredibly low and almost booped off, and he will get finished off by Akimbo. Long range kill there on the Sigma. He is now trying to deal with Raging Cool's Tracer in the backline, getting incredibly low. He might actually die here. Kern falling though, that's not very good for the defenders. That's their main source of healing gone, and with Acid falling, that's a huge source of their damage as well. Zakatar actually getting Blaze with the hook. Didn't quite see if that was an environmental or not, but either way, he got the hook.
It was, yeah. Just a little follow-up pick. But Young did get 25% of that point pretty much for free, so...
Yep, they did get a little bit of percentage. Raging Cool does have his Pulse Bomb. Not too many other ultimates online aside from... Well, actually, now that I say that, I look at Overcharged, and they have quite a few ultimates coming up shortly, so they will be able to hold on to this point depending on how they play this. There's certainly the potential long flank coming here. It's very rare that you see an Orisa flank like this from the side of Yoink, but it seems to be working as Overcharged has to push back. Raging Cool finding a nice Pulse Bomb onto Akimbo. Blaze falling soon after. Tropical doesn't have his Immortality Field. That's going to be a huge cooldown. Nano Boost comes out onto Romy. He's getting environmental 3 times over. Zakatar actually gets environmental by Romy, but it doesn't really matter as Yoink retakes the point. Overcharge got a little bit more of a first hold there than Yoink did, but now it looks like they'll be able to get some percentage in return.
Looks like that weird flank did seem to pay off, but they are coming in with multiple ults, but they all switched to Lucio now.
Yeah, they did swap over to the Lucio. Tropical is going to be severely behind on the beat ult charge as opposed to Kernmaster, who's been on it from the beginning. Overcharge running in extremely aggressively. Romy drops his bongo. Blaze finding 2, however, and 3. Okay, this man is just on a tear right now. Raging Cool does take out Cameron, but it doesn't look like it'll really matter as Overcharge gets the rest of the team. Aside from Zakatar, who is now somehow still alive. I'm not sure how he survived the 2 boops there, but he did just to feed Overcharge.
He did get saved by Tropical there, but it looks like they did switch to that Hanzo last fight, and it's already 85, so it looked like that pick really did pay off.
Yeah, I mean, that tends to happen when you get 3 kills with headshots in a row. You have Raging Cool getting rather close to his next Pulse Bomb. He seems to be doing a lot of damage, a lot of work with the other ones. Another long flank coming out here, however you'd expect Overcharge to get have this one expected. They do have to watch out for Blaze, who's coming up on that dragon. It's actually both DPS ultimates. Razor Sharp finding Raging Cool off in the sidelines. There comes the dragons. The beat comes out by Kernmaster to save the rest of his team. Acid does take out Akimbo and Razor Sharp. Blaze finding Luxie, however, but Acid getting 3 kills of his own in return. He does actually have the Death Blossom, which he will use here. He finds Tropical, and it looks like Romy will fall soon after. Raging Cool finding Cameron. It looks like Yoink are going to be taking this on the backs of their Tracer and Reaper.
Yeah, they did. They're on Sigma now on the side of Yoink, so maybe they could try to turn this around. They do have a couple ults, and they do probably have 2 more fights to play it fast.
One interesting thing I've been noticing, especially in Intermediate, is that a lot of these teams seem to be liking the Tracer pick. I wonder why that is. Either way, we do have quite a few ultimates coming online. Coalescence Bomb goes, here comes a Gravitic Flux from Akimbo. We'll be finding at least 3 members of Yoink. Luxie getting incredibly low, but he will survive for just a little bit longer as he gets taken out by Romy. Razor Sharp cleaning up Zakatar as well. Yoink is now without their tanks as well as one of their DPS. They are slowly falling, and this might be the round for Overcharged, as I'm not sure if anyone on Yoink can make it back in time, and sure enough, they won't. Good attempt there from Luxie. Rather close round, although, like I said earlier, the Overcharged team is not exactly known for their control prowess, so who knows. Maybe they will just turn it into Overdrive if they can take this map.
Yeah, they switched to the Reinhardt at the end of that map for Overcharged, and they obviously won that last fight, so it seems to be working. They stick on it here.
Yeah, well, especially for Well in particular, seems to be an Orisa favored map. Romy did a pretty good job on it, but Reinhardt is definitely his favorite hero from what we've seen of him thus far in the season. And it looks like Luxie will also be on the Reinhardt. Luxie does have a bad history in the past of charging a little bit too aggressively, so we'll have to see if Overcharged is going to be ready to punish any over-aggression coming in. Looks like Overcharged will be getting on to the point first, taking their early control. Looks like Yoink will be taking the slight high ground over towards the mid ground. Razor Sharp poking along the back line. A small duel here coming in from him and Raging Cool. Not too much going on at the moment. Some poke war coming in. Raging Cool seems to be slowly losing that Tracer duel. Zakatar now coming to help his Tracer. Blaze finding Acid, that's going to be a huge pick, especially on the Doomfist, such a large source of damage. Dawn Overcharged has 1-man advantage so far. And Luxie's shield getting incredibly low. However, Romy is falling rather low. The healing not quite there. He does fall, however, Luxie does fall as well. And with Zakatar out of his mech, that's effectively both tanks gone. Razor Sharp and Blaze cleaning up the rest. Akimbo getting the last laugh on Kernmaster, and Overcharge will take the point.
The Reaper on the side of Overcharge seemed to be doing a lot of work just for this comp with the Doomfist, and you said Luxie's pretty aggressive, so this Reaper looks like he's going to find a lot of work, and they need to play around it.
Yeah, and we do have, well, most of Overcharge still on point, just turtling up there. Razor Sharp is towards the back line. He's getting rather close to his pulse bomb. Raging Cool does spot him out, but Razor Sharp seems to be getting the better of that Tracer duel. Gets a nice stick onto Kernmaster, and that will be the end of Yoink's Lucio, as the rest of the team is just squabbling around now. And Luxie gets booped off by Akimbo. And that's pretty much the fight at that point. Spork throws himself off of the point. And that's pretty much a soft reset for the rest of their members.
Yeah, they just took that with one ult, just a clean stick by Razor Sharp, and that won it. And now they're coming up on 5 ults, so in position to take this next fight also.
I do like this positioning here from Blaze if they do manage to take the high ground. However, it looks like they're coming up to low ground, so Blaze will have to drop down. He still has the high ground advantage, though. It looks like he's coming in with the Death Blossom. Does get booped out. Finds 2 regardless. And that's probably yet another fight just cleanly taken for Overcharge. Nice mid-air kill there onto Luxie by Razor Sharp, but he was going to die nonetheless. Reinhardt can't exactly get back on the edge.
Yeah. Sadly for Acid, I'm pretty sure Blaze got booped into him when he's trying to hide, and he just died.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for him.
I think Acid uppercutted him, and then Kernmaster tried to boop him away, but by that point he was already right next to the team for so long. It is getting into one-fight territory now. Yoink is getting into desperation mode. They do have 4 ultimates coming online. Acid getting a little bit closer to his Meteor Strike. However, Overcharged has 4 ultimates coming up, a little bit closer to 5. Beautiful Shatter coming in from Romy, finding at least 3 members. A lot of ultimates coming out online, a lot of particle effects. Luxie does fall, Akimbo is taken out, however. Raging Cool falls as well. Acid looking for some picks here, almost finds Razor Sharp. He does manage to get the punch out, but doesn't quite connect there with the wall. Looks like it seems to be going in the favor of Overcharged, and yes, it looks like they will be taking their second control map this season in Ilias.
Yeah, just good gameplay coming out from Overcharged right there.
Seems to be something funky with the play of the match recently, where they've been favoring supports a lot more for some reason. It's kind of funny.
I haven't seen a lot of Moiras.
Yeah. Moira, Brig, they have such an ability to get a lot of assists, and I think for some reason that's been bugging out the play of the match system for some reason. But nonetheless...
Yeah, it's rather sad we don't get to see the DPS shine.
Yeah. However, occasionally you do get a good gem with supports actually popping off, so that means we do have Yoink choosing the next map, and that'll be between Volskaya and Horizon. I'm expecting Volskaya. I've only ever seen Horizon once, and that was the previous game between Double Cap and Bot Burgers.
I mean, I don't know. In Novice, there was 2 teams did pick Horizon, so maybe we could see it come out today.
Definitely some potential there for Symmetra. Okay, wow, that was
Then
fast.
they did pick Horizon.
That was extremely fast. They are ready for Horizon. I guess, knowing Yoink, they love the cheesy strats, so I guess they would love a chance to pull out Symmetra.
Yeah, I'm expecting probably Symmetra, maybe Dive, you never know. There's a lot you can run on Horizon
lately. Still waiting on Overcharge to give us an idea of what side they want. They can choose attack or defense. Okay, they decide to stay with attack. Let me update the graphic.
Like I sort of said from the start, with the Reaper on the side of Overcharged on that map with the Doomfist, that Doomfist really didn't get any work. Like, he was only 92 years old, and he didn't even get a single at that fight just because he's being shut down by that Reaper.
Yeah.
So I think Yoink needs to recognize when they need to make the switches. They did seem to switch to a Reaper near the end, but didn't seem to do much.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. They love these niche off-meta strats, but they kind of remind me of Goats Only in Advanced, where they don't quite understand when it's necessary to swap off. And that kind of has been the death of them for quite a while. They do find the occasional good win. I believe they beat High Society in the first half of the season, but it's really just off of teams that are equally matched and aren't as good at adapting.
Yeah, these niche strats don't really seem to have much of a place. Like maybe it can win you a few games against some bad teams, or maybe you can upset a higher team, but it's not going to be consistent game plan for the season unless you have really good coaches who just think of really good strategies.
Yeah, in the meantime, we are waiting for the teams to give the signal that they're ready, waiting for Yoink. Overcharge is already confirmed. I am fully expecting Yoink here to pull out the Symmetra, and sure enough, they are ready. So we're going to hop into it, but they are on defense first, so they probably won't be able to pull out the Symmetra quite yet.
I mean, you never know.
I would love to see it, but it's rather tricky. In the meantime, whatever Yoink rolls out here is reasonable to expect that they will be sticking with it as they are on the defense. Overcharge still has a little ways to go before we can take whatever they pick seriously. However, I don't recall if they're one of the teams that memes in Spawn.
See? We do see a Torb.
Actually, yeah, that is another odd pick that I've been seeing a lot of. Torb and Tracer. 2 picks that you don't normally get to see quite that often, but I've been seeing quite a lot this week, if nothing else. Torb I can certainly see on this map, and first points in particular being rather good with quite a few awkward spots.
Yeah, Torb has... This is a good Torb map. Probably one of the best, along with some control maps like Nepal.
Actually, right by that pillar that Raging Cool is standing by, and sure enough, right where he puts his turret, I found is a really good spot for the Torb turret, because it tends to be awkward for the offense to deal with it. However, they might be coming out with a Widow dive here on the side of Overcharge.
Looks like it.
Razor Sharp is rather cracked on the Widowmaker, or really any hit scan for that matter. I can't say I've seen too much of Blaze on Genji, but then again, that just might be circumstance of the meta. Seems like they are setting up for a dive here, coming up onto the high ground. Dive immediately onto the Torbjorn. Romy gets him melted, however. Raging Ghoul's turret is the only casualty thus far on the side of Yoink. Zakitar getting incredibly low, but he will just get healed up, giving Spork quite a lot of ult charge.
Yeah, Yoink does seem to be playing pretty close, so...
Oh, okay.
Good kind of the dive. Torb just needs to probably stay with his team. Same with the Ana. If they can just protect those two, they'll be fine. Yeah, they'll just look like they're switching off it now.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't blame them for staying on the Widowmaker, at least for the time being, as Razor has had some rather standout performances on Widow in the past, and it is a good way to break the defense here. But it seems like they're sticking on this Genji as well.
Maybe for Nanoblade?
Possibly, yeah. However, neither of them are particularly close and must be very confident in Blaze's ability. Do have a small dive coming in here onto Luxie, but they seem to back off almost immediately. Just sort of stuck here in the staircase, which is, of course, going to favor the defense. But as I say that, Razor Sharp finds a pickoff onto Acid in the backline.
But he's very low.
Oh,
yeah, he just fell.
Zakitar finishes him off, and that seems to be continuing the stalemate for the time being. Seem to have Blade or Nano coming in. Blade not quite there as of yet. Blade's having trouble finding that last couple percentages. By the time he gets Blade, the Nano's going to be worn off, and sure enough, he's anti-ed and has to back out. But he can't, as he gets taken out by Zakitar, who's been literally everywhere this defense. He's gotten like what, 3-4 kills at this point. He is shown vast improvement on the D.Va from past weeks, in all honesty.
That's what D.Va does. You just hold mouse 1 and you shoot them all.
Okay, well,
You can find a lot of picks.
now you're in sort of an awkward situation here if you're the offense, as you have Blade but no Nano to go along with it. However, you do have Beat, so I guess you could keep him alive in that way. Razor Sharp is on the Tracer. Early Dragons coming in, splits up the offense. Raging Cool's turret yet again falling. Looks like Yoink is backing up onto the point. Blade coming in. Sure enough, the Beat, but the Beat misses Blaze! I don't know where he was, but he wasn't there to hit the Beat. He's so incredibly low. However, he does find Spork. Zakitar finds Tropical, however. That's a huge pickoff onto the Lucio, the main source of healing, and this looks rather split from the offense from the time the Dragons were spread out. Blaze does find Raging Cool. However, it looks like the defense is mostly stabilizing here, as they do have at least one of their healers in Current Master still alive. Zakitar is demacked, being chased by the Genji. Does actually get taken out. Nice final kill there from Blaze and manages to get out alive. That is crucial. Acid coming back off of the Hanzo onto the Doomfist. Nice attempt of a shatter there onto Luxie, but everyone dodged it. Luxie gets taken out by Blaze. In the meantime, Acid, the Doomfist pick isn't quite working, as Blaze is just tearing amok through the backline. Raging Cool does find his counterpart in Razor Sharp, but I don't think it's going to matter, as Overcharged in the final hour manages to get point A. Although it looks like Zakitar is still trying to stall out the point, probably bring it to overtime. I'm not sure.
Does look like a feed. Oh, he does get body blocks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, he is on the point briefly, but that really only served to charge ultimates, especially considering that they're getting
They
closer.
could steamroll this. They have 4 ults, almost 4 ults on the side of Overcharge, and none on the side of...
Razor Sharp is already in the back
Oh,
line.
they're already on the point.
Attempting to rest. However, Acid immediately shows Cameron the better side of his fist. The Dragon Blade does come in, finds Kern Master almost immediately. Didn't have the beat in order to save his team. However, it doesn't look like he'll find any more kills off of that. However, that Lucio kill might be all they need. Despite the extremely last-second take onto first there, it looks like they might be able to take second point almost immediately, as Yoink is already into stall mode. Luxie was on point for only a brief moment before getting melted by Razor Sharp. Zakitar back on the point. Beat coming out from the attackers, not necessary in particular, as they didn't really lose anyone, but nice way to finish everything off. They are 95% and counting. Acid back in the Doomfist for just a brief moment, and 240 is the time to beat.
They did seem to get stalled up on that first point, but once they got that second point, they just steamrolled it. That's the beauty of 2CP.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like they had a little bit of hang up there with their ultimates on the side of Overcharged, as they kind of overlapped and didn't get too much value out of him on the first couple takes, especially with the attempted dive didn't quite work out the way they had intended. But they did manage to redeem themselves. I just noticed I messed up the overlay. Yoink does not have 1 point. Overcharged as a point.
We do see a soldier. Yeah. We do see a soldier on the side of Overcharged and do have a Symmetra, or they are teasing a Symmetra. I hope it comes out.
I am
I
fully
I think
expecting
it
them to
would.
come out with this. I like the DPS here. Well, I like Blaze's DPS on the side of Overcharged. The Junkrat is pretty standard to destroy the Symmetra. I'm curious to see if he's going to place it onto the point or over by the doorway where the entrance teleporter is generally placed.
But if Blaze does play this right, he can
Okay.
find some massive kills and massive
He does
damage.
place it onto the point, so I'm expecting at least one person from Yoink to just get melted. Interesting composition here coming out from Yoink. Everything's relatively standard aside from the Doomfist, a little bit squishy here. All things considered, the Junkrat isn't going to do him any favors. And yeah, sure enough, they are running out on this. Symmetra seems to be getting ready. Here comes the teleporter right onto the trap, and I believe Raging Cool stepped in the trap and got melted immediately. Akimbo finding the final blow there. However, it looks like Yoink is still trying to hold onto the point here. Acid jumping on to the point.
Blaze is just carnage.
Yep. You know, I kind of doubted Razor Sharp's ability on the soldier, or rather ability to get value, all things considered, but he's been putting in a lot of damage with the Helix rockets there. However, Blaze is definitely the one putting in all the damage you can see from his ult charge.
Yeah, and they do switch off to this Tracer. But they didn't really seem to notice the Junkrat was behind them. They just lit into the two tanks and the Ana and weren't able to do much.
And it looks like they are ready to go again. Acid.
Oh, there is a duel in space right now.
There is a duel in space right now between a soldier and a tracer. It looks like Raging Cool might be getting the better of him. However, Razor Sharp does finish it off. They are both incredibly low. Razor Sharp manages to stay alive just a little bit longer. Acid now in his sights. Tyre already coming out. Doesn't find anything. And with Romy and Blaze falling, Acid does fall from Tropical, but I'm not sure if that'll be enough here, as there's too much damage missing. And as I say, that Akimbo takes out two with the help of Tropical. Raging Cool does find Razor Sharp. Zakatar has woken up. Might not be the best situation there for the defense. However, they seem to be holding strong as Cameron takes out Spork, finding that's a counterpart there. Acid in the backline almost finds Spork there, but just barely misses the hitbox. However, Tropical falling yet again. Wasn't back on the point for very long. Acid now has his ultimate, looking for Blaze, doesn't manage to find him, and will actually fall at the same time that Blaze is hammered to death by Luxie. Akimbo still stalling out this point, finally demacked, and it looks like he will be sent back to spawn from the head of Luxie's rocket hammer. And it looks like finally Yoink can take the first point with a little bit over double the time that Overcharge had. So while they don't necessarily have too many what you consider snowball ultimates, they could still possibly get a clean fight here.
I mean, possibly if Overcharged has a misplay.
Shatter is mostly blocked, however, I believe Acid got caught out there. Kimbo is stalling out the point, as we did have, I believe, Raging Cool on it briefly. Looks like Yoink is opting to take the low ground, however, Blaze is very weary of that plan as he used the Sonic Arrow. Luxie does have Shatter, but he's trying to look for a way to use it. Oh, barely blocked at the last moment there from Romy, however, they do push forward from the window. Attack Visor comes out from Razor Sharp, immediately finds Acid, and helps chunk down quite a few others. Kern Master soon to follow, and Zakatar not even bothering to stall them out, however. They do still have a minute.
4K by Razor Sharp right there. Really impressive. Also, that Shatter block by Romy.
Yeah,
I would have probably got 3.
That was almost pixel perfect, in all honesty. It looked like Luxie had it up until no one dropped. And with that, I mean, Yoink has lost quite a few of their ultimates. The defense has as well, but they have defender's advantage here. Nano coming out onto Acid. However, he is taking quite a lot of damage early on in the fight. Not finding too much value out of the Nano either. Already, it falls out of use. And it looks like Acid will be chunked down by Razor Sharp as Romy and Razor will be finding more kills on the point. Romy is taken out by Luxie, but it doesn't really matter when the rest of your team is getting the rest of the enemy team.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught that, but both the Divas sent their bombs up, and they both got stuck on the little pillar thing moving above, and both got nothing.
Oh, they both got the rafter. That's funny. No, I was watching Acid and Razor Sharp duel in the background.
They did trade out their bombs, so.
Well, it
They do
is.
have a Hanzo on this tight choke.
Yep. There is a potential here. Luxie and Romy both coming up onto their ultimates. Early Dragons, possibly a little bit too early, didn't manage to section anyone off. Yoink just waits it out. And both Reinhardts do have ultimate now. Romy does have Nano, gets his Shatter completely negated. Luxie turns around, shatters, finds, I believe, one person in Cameron. And Acid finding a few kills here, finally getting some worth out of the Doomfist here, finally getting Razor Sharp. It's been a thorn in his side from basically the beginning. Oh, Tropical got Ajaxed. That's terrible. As Yoink is finally getting some percentage on the board. Blaze coming out onto the point. Romy tries to charge, but doesn't quite make it to the point in time. Now just getting bullied by the entirety of Yoink, and it looks like they might actually be taking the point as Razor Sharp gets taken out before he can even touch. Tropical stalling up for as long as he can. Kimbo getting DMAC'd almost instantly, and now it's just into stall mode. They're looking to stall the clock, but they can't, as Spork Kamehamehas the entire side of Overcharged into oblivion.
And unfortunately, the Mora did seem to pop off there, so we probably will be seeing another Mora play the game.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, unless a D.Va gets like a massive bomb or a massive shatter comes out. But I wonder if Overcharge will try this dive again. Wait, they're defending first.
Yes, Overcharged is defending first. They got the better time bank there by about a minute, so they probably got about two, maybe one or two extra fights in. When it is their time to attack, they're going to be looking to hold this. Same comp, didn't quite work the last time, but they did hold for a decent amount of time. No.
It does look like they're off to Symmetra, or they're teasing not going on the Symmetra again for Yoink, so maybe they realized it didn't work.
Possibly.
Maybe we can see a faster take now that Symmetra didn't seem to be working.
Agent Cool seems to be hanging right around the spawn a little bit further back from his team, so could possibly see a last minute swamp, but it seems like they're trying to change things up, which is honestly just this entire team's credo at this point. It's changing everything up. I don't think they play the same thing twice when it comes to multiple rounds in the same map like this.
Now the Reaper will come out, so no Symmetra.
You have a teleport of some kind, but not exactly the one that'll bring your entire team along with you. You have pretty much the same setup here from the defense. Overcharged. Figured it worked well enough before. Acid using quite a lot of his cooldown just to get past the kill zone, as it were. Sleep coming out onto Zakatar there, as well as Acid getting incredibly low, will be taken out by Razor Sharp, getting a lot of value here out of this soldier pick, despite what you might think looking at it in terms of the meta. Agent Cool getting a little bit low before taking the Mega Health Pack off to the side. And Yoink now has essentially one good fight. They're taking their time. No one really has anything close to an ultimate aside from Luxie, who's about halfway there. Tropical is getting rather close to his BAP window. He might have it, depending on how long this fight wears out. Blaze finding Spork with a rogue mine.
He was 80 to ult also.
Yep.
So that's thick. They have to back out now. 30 seconds.
They can still take a one good fight, but now they're bringing themselves into this tiny little room and possibly just giving themselves up to Blaze, as that is exactly what a Junkrat would want. They're just stuck in this stairwell, taking a lot of damage here from Luxie. Luxie is taking a lot of damage. He does have Shatter. However, are they going to be able to... Oh, Acid gets taken out yet again. Not really finding the value he needs out of this Doomfist. Not even halfway to his ult quite yet. Romy is taken out by a charge, as well as getting Tropical taken out. That's crucial. He had BAP window. Yoink might actually take the first point here, and that is absolutely massive.
But this very good coalescence, because both the DPS side of ult on Yoink fell very low. And coalescence has kept him alive, then massive shatter from Luxie that just allowed him to clean up and win it.
However, they're not going to have very many snowball ultimates here, whereas Overcharged has 4, coming up on 5 soon enough with Razor Sharp working towards that attack visor, so it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to do anything here. Sure enough, the window comes out immediately. However, Yoink pushes right past it, completely nullifying. Zakatar tosses in the bomb. Will find Romy, as well as Cameron and Tropical falling. Both healers down now. Razor Sharp gets pinned. This is the absolute worst case scenario if you're Overcharged right now. Kernmaster does fall, however. That is huge for the defense as they start to stall the point ever so longer. Romy doesn't find anything with his charge, but he is nanoed. He gets stunned out of his shatter. However, Razor Sharp does finally get the attack visor, but the kills are going left and right. This might be in favor of the defense, but it is going too back and forth to really figure out at this moment in time. Luxie falling isn't exactly what you wanted if you're the offense. However, they are still finding kills, but it's not quite enough to clear off the point quite yet. They do have one tick, and that is huge, but they really want to take both, because there's no guarantee that Overcharge will be able to take both, or even one in their first round.
Coming out.
Zakatar is taken out as he was DMAC'd. Razor Sharp is coming back onto the Tracer, and it seems like he is helping the rest of the team clean up. Spork is getting rather low here, the Moira being one of the stickier targets, so if he can manage to take that out, then that's basically the round at that point, and it is getting a little bit more sloppy. Blaze gets his Meteor Strike, and I believe that's the first Doomfist ult you've seen all game, despite Acid having been on Doomfist for quite a while at this point. Blaze trying to find some targets, but everyone's too spread out. He's not finding anything, however, he's not being pressured enough to have to worry about his own health bar. Yoink getting about 45-46% of the point for their own, but I'm not sure if it'll matter. No, as they will stop right there.
But they did get 2 ticks, correct?
Tick and a half, just about. Which is huge if you're Yoink, because that is the win condition now. They can't draw.
Yeah, that's really good on his side of Yoink. They had only 30 seconds, no ults, and Overcharged had 4 ults. Just clutch plays, Raging Cool, especially he popped on that Reaper. But unfortunately, it was not enough.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta wonder if possibly Akimbo didn't find Kern Master with that bomb, or if, you know, this person or that person didn't fall on the side of Yoink to these random ultimates that Overcharge is just throwing in. Maybe they could have taken the point a lot sooner and possibly taken all 3 ticks. But regardless, they gotta be happy with taking the first point and then a little bit extra.
We do see the same comp to the round offense coming out on the defense. This is interesting, but they did have a Genji, so now it does look like they're going to that Doom.
Yeah, Overcharge is swapping back and forth. It looks like they'll be sticking with the Reaper Doomfist for the time being. They can still swap if they want. Blaze has been getting a lot more value than Acid out of this Doomfist, not quite having the best day there for Acid. At least on
we did see a mirror match for the first time.
Yeah, kind of surprising. I wouldn't necessarily consider this the hard meta, as generally been seeing more Ana than Moira, but I guess these teams seem more comfortable on the Moira for the time being, more healing output. And without the Symmetra, it'll be interesting to see how Overcharged decides to take their approach here. Looks like they're going to be going the exact same way as their opponents did the previous round, just going hard left and going straight onto point. However, it looks like Romy and Blaze getting incredibly low. Romy's still alive, however, Blaze cannot say the same for Raging Cool, putting a lot of pressure onto the more large targets, as it were, with their hitboxes. Romy getting low yet again, punched and bullied out by about 3 members of Yoink. Cameron getting incredibly low, Kernmaster finishing that off, Romy falling yet again. And that will be the fight for Yoink.
You'll see a stagger onto Baby Diva, see how long they can hold her, and just nowhere really to jump for her.
No, it would take too long to... She would get her mech back by the time she got to space, and there you go, there's the kill. Some swaps coming out on to the Overcharged DPS.
Did you see a Hanzo? Maybe just try to find that pick potential and go in?
Yeah.
They look rather good on it first map, I believe, so.
Razor Sharp seems to be using this Tracer as a somewhat of a comfort pick when they sort of don't have any idea what to do. He seems to be over onto the Tracer, finding a lot of value in it in the past. Looks like he's going to be running around back, putting pressure onto point. Zakatar will have to drop to make sure that there's contention to the point. Early coalescence here from both teams. Luxie tosses into Shadow, really only finds Cameron there. I believe he might have found Romy, but he melted so fast it was hard to tell. And Tropical dying, as well as Cameron just jumping off the map to reset. Overcharge is not looking too hot right now.
That did seem... Did it look like Luxie's going to feed there, but, I mean, another good coalescence from Spork just kept him alive, and a good shadow from Luxie that allowed him to live.
Yeah, that's honestly something that's kind of crucial for the flex supports, especially in this meta, is if you can get a read on what your main tank is going to doing subconsciously without having to have them call it out, then that's a huge bonus, and Spork seems to have that with Luxie as they've been playing together. Interesting.
You see a Far Mercy.
Meteor Strike coming in from Acid. Not sure if it'll find anything. No. And Romy does find 2. Zagatar does toss in the bomb, won't find anything, and it looks like it is going in the favor of Overcharge for the time being, as they do find 4. It's really only Raging Cool on the point at this point. And he's getting incredibly low. I believe, yeah, Cameron died earlier on in that fight, so that is probably going to be first point for Overcharged. Interesting swap over to the Soldier here from Acid.
Soldier.
I guess he isn't getting too much value out of the Doomfist, unfortunately. So now, there is the potential here still to win, they just need to hold, and they only have 30 seconds for Overcharge, so they do need to get on it. Tropical swaps over to the Moira instead of the Lucio, I believe he was on. And they don't really have too many ultimates. Raging Cool does have the Death Blossom.
They have a Shatter, look big.
Oh no! Blaze falling almost immediately, that's going to be terrible, especially with the Mercy. That's 1/3 of your team gone. With Romy falling as well, Raging Cool doesn't really find anything with the Death Blossom, but it does vacate the point, as it were, and it looks like Yoink are not out of this entirely.
They did take the map.
Rather interesting there.
And as Yoink is commenting, I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've had... I think all their games have been 3-0s. Or like,
Really?
they've either won 3-0 or they've lost 3-0, so... It is a 1-1, so...
That's
First
funny.
is broken.
I haven't checked the standings in a while, I haven't looked for that, but that'd be hilarious if all their games were 3-0 or 0-3. So they finally get some points on the board there without
Looking at it, yeah, all their games have been 3-0s.
That's hilarious. I never noticed that. Alright, so we are tied up 1-1 here. Which, let's see now. So we have Overcharge choosing the maps. Let me check what we got. I believe it's, yeah, Hollywood and Mbani. Oops. Typing in Discord.
Hollywood has seemed like it's been the favored map, but we could see Nibani.
Yeah, it depends. Nambani is a very good dive map. I've seen a few teams run it specifically on Advanced. They love to get their dive in wherever they can.
I believe it was Overcharged who did try to run dive, so... And this is their pick, so... They could pick Nibani and
they do
try to run dive.
Have Razor Sharp.
But they do pick Hollywood.
Okay, yep, they do. Seems like they want to stick with the tried and true method, what they practice probably. As most teams are expecting Hollywood to be the popular pick.
Yeah, I'd probably expect similar to what they ran last map. Probably a Doom or a Reaper. Maybe a Pharah, maybe a Soldier.
Okay,
maybe a Torb.
I love it when the teams make it easy for me and I don't have to swap around the lobby and all the graphics and stuff, so we will be sticking with the same teams in offense and defense first. Let's see if there's any subs. Both of these teams seem to be pretty stable right now. I can't really imagine too many subs coming in. Possibly some for Overcharged. I've seen Mr. Wolf and Duga play in the past, so who knows.
Yeah, it's a pretty close game, so I doubt, unless they have like a set plan, I doubt they'd make any subs on the fly. But if they have been making subs in the past, they could do it now. Maybe they have like a Hollywood specialist or a certain hero they want to run.
Maybe. However, I think Overcharged has also won a decent amount of their last couple games 3-0, so it's all probably been something of, hey, we're up 2-0, let's just toss in some subs, give them playtime.
Yeah, possibly.
Looks like Overcharged is ready, so no subs coming out from them. Yoink, still waiting on them. I can't imagine. This has been the lineup that they've been running, I think, since week 1, just about. So I'm not expecting very much changes from them.
It doesn't even really look like they have any subs in the lobby, so I doubt it, but...
Yeah, I think, well, Kurt's the manager, and also Advanced SR, Little Pants is coach. I don't know who XLR is. Kai, I believe, is like a mental health coach.
And Yoink is ready, so...
Alright, so... Gonna hop over into Hollywood.
Yeah.
Initiating match.
This is going to be a rather crucial map for both of these teams. One team is going to come out of this going towards match point. And the other team is going to be fighting to stay alive after this map. Series will not end after Hollywood, as much as I'm sure these teams would have loved it to.
Would you see the dive teased from side of Overcharged? That would be interesting, but Hollywood isn't really known as a dive map.
I wouldn't be too
And it just
shocked.
seems sort of the standard comp, I guess, for this week with Doom Reaper from the side of Yoink.
Yeah, seems to be pretty popular for at least an intermediate from what I've seen. Novice seems to be playing a little bit differently from what I saw yesterday. Wouldn't be shocked to see Blaze stick on this Pharah. First point, Hollywood is good for Pharah. A lot of roofs to bounce around. However, they do still have time to swap anything that they want at the moment. They are on offense after all.
It does look like it that they're moving out of the switch then.
Yep, sure enough, they're staying on it.
Should be rather interesting.
Yoink taking up the high ground here on defense. Don't really have anything to deal with this Pharah, so consequentially a decent pick here for Blaze. Dive coming in onto the high ground. Luxie getting incredibly low, and he will just get melted by Romy and Razor Sharp there. However, Akimbo and Blaze both fall. Akimbo gets it taken out of his mech, but it's effectively gone. And with Akimbo being taken out by Acid there, getting a knuckle sandwich. Oh, and Razor Sharp never saw it coming. Immediately got out of his blink and was met with the fist. Not exactly the what you want to be seeing.
It doesn't look like we're seeing swaps. Looks like they are going at this again. Just didn't seem to work very well, but nope, never mind. They are on Ryan D.Va.
Yeah, mostly just
and Ana.
the Moira and the Rhine swapped. Otherwise, everything else is the same. Kernmaster getting a little bit low there off of Blaze's spam damage there. Blaze getting incredibly close to his barrage. Spork also getting about half health. Romy getting incredibly low as he aggressed into the backline. Barely makes it out with his life. Blaze also getting rather low here. Getting pressured out by Spork, and Zakatar will finish it off as Yoink seems to have Overcharged's number. At this moment in time, Acid gets slept. I believe that was just a sleep dart into the crowd as Cameron was trying to fight off his inevitable death there from the Coalescence.
Do you see it switched on the Hanzo? Actually, Sombra.
Okay. Interesting.
Did they ever use their barrage, or did they switch off it without using it?
I don't believe like it ever got cancelled. So I believe we just swapped off of it. Interesting here because neither Tracer nor Sombra has very much finishing power in terms of kills. You know, they can put a lot of poke damage in, but it's difficult, aside from like a Doomfist, to get the finishing blows. Oh, beautiful Shatter, finding 3, as well as the Sombra, the Ana falling almost immediately. Zakatar demeching Akimbo, Luxie getting the baby there. Romy taking up a Raging Cool in the middle of all that, and Tropical's really the only one who manages to survive. Now that they don't have the Fairy, you gotta wonder if they were just waiting for the Valk to, yeah, sure enough, they were just waiting to use the Valk to swap off onto the Lucio. More standard composition now coming out, really only the tank ults and Nano on the side of Overcharge.
Yeah, but Yoink still only does have their DPS ults in the beat, so
Raging Cool is
maybe they can make something
out.
with it.
Romy does find a Shatter onto 2, or 3 actually, Luxie was in there as well. Raging Cool tosses in his Death Blossom, doesn't really find anything. Acid gets a lot of poke damage onto Overcharge with his Meteor Strike, doesn't really find any kills, and it looks like that'll be the point.
I think all they really used was that Shatter and Nano, and already 62 it again, so...
Yeah, they didn't really have to invest too much, they just kind of played that well. You know, Luxie left a slight opening there on the right side of his shield and found 3. And sure enough, Overcharge takes the point with a little bit of time remaining, giving them a decent amount of time here for second point. Not a ton, not the best time bank coming into second, as it will take quite a while. Quite a few members on Overcharge getting rather low here, as they will have to back out, play a little bit more passive around the cart. Yoink takes that as their chance to go in. Acid getting incredibly aggressive, does get anti, however he is still in decent health. Romy and Blaze falling almost immediately. Spork on fire with these coalescences these past couple maps, building them and pressuring out the enemy enemy DPS like it's nothing. And it really only costs 1 ultimate there.
Yeah, but Overcharge are coming up on about 6 ults. So seeing massive
beautiful
Shatter.
Shatter. I think that was a 6-man Shatter coming in from Romy. Don't Don't exactly know how he found that opening, but he did, and that's all she wrote. You know, it's hard to contest the point when you're laying on your back.
I know this team's like the hole in that little corner right there, and Lexi's put down a shield at the wrong time. That's a
And we-
one fight, and they only use that one ult, so now they have 5 ults
Yeah.
going into it. It's a really good position for Overcharged.
You think by getting past that choke point they'd have to expend quite a few more ults, but as it turns out, not quite. Raging Cool is coming up onto that Death Blossom, and now is the time where he'd want to really use it, as it's a nice place to drop down. Or not, I guess I drop down without having his ult. Getting pressured off the high ground there by Blaze. Seems like Overcharged isn't quite sure which ult they want to use. Razor Sharp is nanoed, and it looks like he might be looking to use his Death Blossom. Luxie does toss in the Shatter, not sure if he really found anything. Akimbo tosses in the bomb, will find Luxie. He doesn't quite manage to shield himself in time. Acid up there on the high ground, just kind of hiding, waiting to contest the point as needed, as they're really just into stall mode, despite not having a huge time bank. Coming into second point, Overcharge has really been able to utilize their ultimates in the best way possible to not bring this to overtime.
Yeah, it looks like they are going for a recontest, but this looks like just to be Doom. The rest of Yoink just backing up. But Yoink
Nice.
does have 4 ults now.
Yeah, Yoink does have quite a few ultimates as well as that Coalescence.
They are
Oh,
really
but you
aggressive.
can't-
No one on guard. Or
You
no
can't
one
coalesce when your entire team is dead. I believe Spork made it out of that alive, but the rest of his team isn't quite so lucky, as Romy finds yet another huge shatter. However, Overcharge doesn't have that many ultimates now. They do have the Death Blossom, they have the Meteor Strike, but those alone are rather difficult to find value out of, especially with Raging Cool guarding the high ground, making it that much more difficult for Razor Sharp to get in the backline for a cheeky Death Blossom.
They're rather grouped up, so maybe something big could come out.
Raging Cool actually is pressured off the high ground here. Blaze does get the better of him, and Blaze does get the better of him as I say that immediately. On the low ground as well, Spork does find Tropical in the backline. Zakatar does toss in the bomb, forces Overcharge to back up just a little bit. Blaze still in the backline, finding Kernmaster as well. Razor Sharp getting Luxie, and Spork falling. Yoink is now in desperation mode. They can stall this out, possibly, get it to overtime, but it's going to be close.
Razor Sharp still does... Yeah.
Raging Cool does have his Death Blossom. He hasn't had the ability to use it basically all map. Now might be the time, if anything. He does find two rather crucial picks here, as they do have Defender's advantage, and that might be what they needed to push them over the edge there. However, Romy in the backline, I don't know how he managed to get Luxie over there, but it somehow did.
Yeah, Lexi charged him back there, but... I mean, I guess it worked because it took the round of the fight, but he did die immediately.
Yep, but it does look like Yoink has now stabilized, and it will be incredibly difficult, especially with the lack of ultimates on the side of Overcharge. However, they do aggress in with the confidence of Gladiators now. As wait, they need to get on point. Okay, they barely did in time. Razor Sharp was shattered there, and will get taken out. Acid is hammered down by Romy. However, Tropical is not the loss you wanted there if you were the offense. Nice block shatter there on the side of Yoink. Blaze doing everything he can to jump around the point, contest, try and find something. Not quite managing to find anything. However, Romy making up for it, but Acid finding Blaze. That is yet more damage. Loss for Overcharged. And it looks like this might be where the card stopped. Oh, don't tell me this is where Overcharge started around right as I say that they get 2 kills. However, the bomb comes out, does force Overcharge off the point. Another Coalescence coming in. Razor Sharp has to Wraithwalk out of Raging Cool's Death Blossom as he finds 2. Akimbo does demech Zakatar, but Spork is still alive, finding 2 with his orb. That's a rare sight. Romy is nanoed here, but I'm not sure how much he can do by himself. Luxie getting incredibly low, will fall. Oh no, Romy, you're not allowed. Raging Cool falling as well. It's just Acid and Kernmaster on the point. No, it's just Kernmaster. The defensive respawns are coming in, but I'm not sure if it's
What a
enough.
heroic play by Romy right there. It
Romy-
looked like it was all over. It was just him, and got to pick on that Orion 3-man shatter.
That's just criminal. Like, I want to give a lot of credit to Cameron there as well. He was keeping Romy alive there throughout the entire thing, tossed in the nano at the very last moment, and it somehow paid off. Just lack of focus fire there and lack of ability to spread out when there's a nano Ryan on your payload.
yeah, just massive heroics, and that did a lot for the respawn to come back. And but we will be seeing Yoink's attack, and does look like yep, just pretty much standard.
Yeah, and it will be rather difficult. Even though they did manage to bring it to overtime, it's going to be incredibly difficult to take all 3 points here. That third point, of course, has defender's advantage. Interesting here, Spork might be running out on the Mercy. I wouldn't completely expect that. He's been on fire with this Mercy as of late, or with the Moira as of late, both words with M's in their name. But otherwise, seeing basically the same thing coming out here for Overcharged.
I doubt that Mercy will be staying, because really you only run a Mercy if you have a Pharah, so... Yeah, sure. Back to Moira.
Mirror matchup seems to be what these teams have defined as their meta. Be interested to see what the rest of Intermediate has been playing, or at least Intermediate B. Intermediate A didn't seem to be running quite this. Sure enough, Yoink does make their way up to the high ground on the far left, and Overcharged seems to be... not sure if they want to drop or what. However, finding both Lucios on both sides is a rather interesting way to start off that match. Pretty much even at this point. However, Zakatar finding Blaze is a huge source of damage now gone. Romy getting pressured out by Raging Cool. He's getting incredibly low. He does find a pin onto, I believe that was Luxie? But Raging Cool does take him out. However, Spork and Luxie falling as well is not particularly great for the offense here. Acid trying his best to equalize the fight. Not sure if he'll be quite able to find it, as Blaze takes him out with a mighty punch, and Cameron tosses in the Coalescence for good measure.
It's all heroics from Razor Sharp. He did get a 3K, I'm pretty sure. And just a lot for the team to come back, and even good Coalescence from Cameron. Build it really fast.
Yep. However, that was a rather quick fight on the side of Yoink, at least once it started to actually get going. And they are going straight back into it. Do have a Shatter coming in from Romy. Will not find anything, and he will get taken out. In the meantime, Acid does get melted by Razor Sharp. Zakatar tosses in the bomb. It might find someone. No, it doesn't quite. The payload protects the rest of Overcharged. Luxie tosses in a Shatter, kind of whiffs it there. A lot of ultimates coming out on the side of Overcharge. Not really finding too much. Luxie does kill Razor Sharp, and with Blaze falling, that is the vast majority of the damage on the side of the defense now gone. And it looks like Yoink will be taking this point with a decent time bank to boot. Yeah.
It's just a baby diva, and she's gone.
And Lucio. And there goes Lucio, as Acid gets a 3K.
He's got a 3K at the end, yeah.
And it looks like, yeah, Overcharge is backing out now, setting up for their second point defense. I'm surprised they're not holding a little bit further up. Okay, it looks like with Romy now, here they are going to attempt to. However, looking at the old economy, it's looking in favor of the offense.
Yeah, this Street does have massive roll potential, so they could try to win it with one fight.
Acid getting rather low here. He is in the backline. He's getting pressured out by Blaze. Has to use his ultimate, and he does decide to use it to get to the high ground. Interesting positioning there, but no one else was there, so he will be safe for the time being. We do have a brawl coming out on the point here. Romy and Luxie swinging at each other over the haystacks there. Luxie is definitely looking for an opportunity to shatter. Not quite finding it, but Raging Cool finding his counterpart and Razor Sharp is rather good, as well as Acid finding his counterpart. This is absolutely massive. Once again, the DPS fall on the side of Overcharge, leaving basically no pick potential on the defense. And they don't even need to use ultimates. They came into this fight with more ultimates than the defense, and they are coming out of it with about equal, actually, there. That allowed the defense to come up.
Yeah, Overcharge didn't really take a fight. They just kind of backed up. And they just lost their DPS early, had to back up, and lost more, so...
Yeah.
They're now gonna take a fight with, like, probably one fight left in the Street's phase.
Yep, however, you do have quite a good amount of ultimates on both sides. Luxie not really finding anything with the Shatter. Romy does have a Shatter of his own. Will find Zakatar, but that's basically it. Both Death Blossoms coming out. However, it looks like the offense is still in favor here, as I believe that was a team kill. Yeah, that was a team kill. I believe the bells didn't ring because Cameron had just spawned, and sure enough, that is a massive time bank for capturing third point. Now, it is still possible to hold. Zakatar swapping over to that Zarya, I think that's a reasonable pick here. This third point can be rather brawly at times, and I could see the value of a good Graviton. as I said earlier in the very beginning of this series, that Zagatar seems to have Zarya as that comfort pick. Wouldn't be shocked to see him pop off here, depending on how things go. Razor Sharp getting incredibly low here. Romy is nanoed, and they do start to aggress onto the defense. However, Acid finding Razor Sharp is massive. Luxie does manage to cancel that charge, and Yoink just has not stopped in a while. Oh no. Acid and Raging Cool are popping off. They are just...
Like I said earlier, you said Acid doesn't really seem to be having a good game, but he's really came into his own on Hollywood. He's just been really popping off on attack.
Yeah, and suddenly Blaze and Razor Sharp are the ones not having a particularly good game. They're already getting close to the point. Now, granted, only Spork is coming up on his ultimate. Actually, no, Luxie is getting rather close as well. Acid finally falling to his counterpart, first time in probably, what, 3 rounds? However, Luxie does manage to find Romy. Coalescence popping in. Beautiful shatter coming in from Luxie. Akimbo is really the only one unfazed there, but not for long, as he is starting to be the target of focus here. Raging Cool falling is a large source of damage, however, Acid is still around and getting quite a few picks. Late beat coming in from Tropical just to stall out the point. Akimbo gets melted. Zagatar basically on, what, 80-something charged at this point. Nice shatter coming in from Romy. Will find 3, however, there aren't enough DPS there to back it up. Acid does fall from Razor Sharp. Razor Sharp doesn't quite have his Death Blossom as well. And it looks like Yoink is going to be taking this with time to spare, meaning that, at best, this is going to be a draw. At worst, Yoink wins. So Overcharged cannot win this map anymore. The best they can do...
really good.
No, I was just going to say, the best they can do is tie.
Yeah, we're just really good play on the side of Yoink, just steamrolling. Like I said earlier, the DPS just came into their own and started popping off for the side of Yoink.
Yeah, that's kind of what you needed. You know, people know Acid and Raging Cool. Both have been around since Season 0. They're extremely talented DPS. And it was kind of surprising to not really see them perform that well, but I guess they just needed time to warm up. Maybe that was the curse of Yoink, you know? They got 3-0'd every single time, so they didn't get the chance to warm up, and maybe they can come into their own. I mean, I can't really say that Overcharged is playing particularly bad. It's just different teams are having more pop-off moments.
Yeah, definitely. And you see a Mercy on the side of...
Interesting. I guess they're going for that res potential?
It's rather interesting. I don't really see how Mercy would really fit into this comp, but I don't know, maybe the coaches at Overcharged are big brand.
They definitely have pulled out some odd singular hero picks in the past, although usually that's on the side of the DPS, where they'll just pull out like an Ashe or something funky like that. But I guess it could work. It depends on how they play it and how Tropical positions himself.
On the Romy?
Anyways, pretty much standard coming out here from Yoink. Seems to have worked last time. Yep, same rotations and everything. Actually, this time, interestingly enough, Overcharge has dropped off of the high ground, giving up that advantage. Raging Cool getting rather low, however, getting poked down by the entirety of Overcharge. And they do have about 2 minutes as of right now to take 1 tick. However, they do need to get the defense off the point, so they need some kills. However, Luxie falling is not a good way to start that. They seem to be soft resetting here. However, with picks going back and forth, it's difficult to see. Oh no, this is starting to go in favor of the offense, but as I say, that's equalized yet again. It is 3v3 here. Both Reapers still alive. Zagatar getting demexed. However, Luxie is back, and you do have Blaze coming back as well. But Spork dropping the Coalescence, that is going to be potentially massive here. It's a huge source of healing and damage. And sure enough, Yoink take the lead in this series. I think a lot of people are expecting them to get 3-0'd here, for history or not. But interestingly enough, they're really starting to come into their own. Romy getting play of the match here.
Oh yeah, here's a 6-man shatter.
Oh, beautiful. You love to see it. And that was just about as clean as it could get.
I'm surprised the Moore didn't steal that.
Yeah, right? But you love to see when the person...
Full Earth Shatter stuns.
Jesus.
Half of them came in that place, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so going to the 4th map. It is going to be either Dorado or Gibraltar. Now, I've seen mostly Dorado, but I have seen a little bit of Gibraltar. So let's see, Overcharge.
Yeah, it seems like Watchpoint's more of a divey map. Well, I mean, yeah, Watchpoint. Well, Gerardo is more standard probably. Is where you see like the May McCree comps, but those are banned, so you know.
All right, we are just waiting for these teams to verify what they want to do. Yoink gets to choose offense or defense. Overcharge gets to choose map. And then obviously any subs if they want.
But yeah, I doubt. I mean, unless they have a specialist, like since it's like saying last map, I doubt we'll see any subs.
Yeah, it depends.
But we did see like a mirror matchup pretty much on that last map, and Yoink did win it.
Play
So
it better, yeah. So
yeah,
I believe Mr. Wolf, that's currently on the bench, also is a flex DPS, so maybe seeing him come in for Blaze, who knows? I'm not sure what their hero pools are, if they overlap or what. Duga, I believe, is a support. So there are some potential swaps here for Overcharge at the very least. But we'll just have to wait and see.
but it does look like the teams are getting cozy now because in previous breaks they have decided pretty fast, but they seem to be taking their time now.
Yeah. Well, Overcharge has put a huge emphasis on coaching their team. And you can imagine why. Okay, so it looks like they are going Dorado. Not too shocking there. A pretty brawl-centric map.
Yeah, I'd expect to see the Reaper Doom come out again from possibly both sides.
Alright, so Yoink wants defense yet again, making my life easy. And let's swap scoreline. Okay. So Yoink, if they can manage to take Dorado, will actually upset this match. Kind of glad that Olden is streaming this from Overcharge perspective, although I'm sure they're not pleased that it's being streamed from their perspective for the time being. But we'll just check if the teams are ready, and if they are, we'll hop into it. Potentially match point. Yoink trying to get their third win on the board. I believe these teams are technically tied right now in terms of records. Overcharge might be like one map or match above.
Looking at it, they're 2-5 with Yoink having a -7. I mean, Overcharge is a -7, Yoink has a -9, so very close in standings.
So they are both 2-5. Let's see. Okay, well, Yoink is very ready. Overcharge does yet to. Okay, they are ready. Okay, so we are hopping into it, off to Mexico for what is potentially the last map of this series.
Initiating match.
Possibly.
Yeah, but I do.
Go ahead.
I do think Overcharge can pull this back here and take it. They still do look like a strong team. That last map was pretty close. So.
Oh, definitely. You know, I think the main reason that they couldn't take that last map was mostly because of the time bank. They just didn't play the clock very well. They took so long on first point, and then they did pretty well on the second point, but then the third point, of course, is so difficult to take, and Yoink just had such a good time bank the entire time. You know, they got that one fight that they needed to propel them ahead. Pretty standard coming out here. Acid is actually not on the Doomfist. Raging Cool's on the Doomfist, and Acid's on the Hanzo. Not too shocked from anything I'm seeing right now. Offense, of course, can swap, so still have to wait to see what they're actually going to be doing.
I would expect that Akimbo would go to Diva, and the rest of them stay.
I would be shocked if they're playing Ryan Hog like that.
I mean, he is at the doors with 5 seconds. It does look like they're going Hog.
If they were on a Risa, I could see it, but Ryan? Like, what are you going to combo with that? You know, are you just going for pure pick potential? If that's the case, I'm not sure what exactly.
Maybe just going for an early hook? I don't know.
Okay, well, we do have Tropical here trying to get up on the wall, looking for a boop, and he will only really find Zakatar. However, he does get melted down. He manages to stay in his mech, however. That is incredible healing on the side of Yoink. And it looks like they're immediately rotating to pass the bridge there. They couldn't quite boop the Reinhardt as he has been unboopable for a long time. Nice anti-nade onto Acid and Zakatar, but there's not really much to capitalize on that at the moment. They're too far back. Luxie getting stunned up briefly. However, he will back out. Shield is getting rather low, however, whereas Romy does quite a bit more shield to go around. As I say that, it starts to get a little bit low. Luxie already has Shatter. Finds at least 3 members, and sure enough, 3 fall, and 4. And that's
a 5-man Shatter on the side of Luxie, so. And this Hog, yep, there goes the Hog. I mean, the Hog did get that early hook down to the Diva, but they weren't able to finish her.
Okay. Interesting.
Sigma?
Double shield, but a janky double shield at that. Acid does, actually there's quite a few ultimates coming in on the side of the defense here, and I think this is a really strong point to hold.
And we see a Junkrat, maybe just for this skip past this choke right here.
Oh, beautiful Dragons. Gets Akimbo caught out, and Lexi finds 2 with the charge. That's pretty rare to see that happen. And yeah, that's basically just a hard reset for Overcharged. You know, they have a few ultimates that they built up, but so does the defense. They really only use that 1 ultimate, and that was it. We do have a Pulse Bomb coming in. Finds Spork, must have stuck him. And Razor Sharp making something out of nothing here. Putting a lot more pressure on Romy. Gets Nano charges straight into the backline using that extra survivability. Actually manages to stay alive there with the help of Cameron, and they really only needed those 2 ultimates, the Nano and the Pulse Bomb, to open up the fight. You have Tropical doing a little bit of redditing here in the front line. Not sure how much longer he's going to want to be doing that. You do have a Doomfist and a Hanzo out for blood.
Yeah, this is a really good pick by Razor Sharp that just allowed them the Rhine to get Nano, and they didn't have a Nano of their own on their own Rhine, so they could just walk forward with no oppression.
Yeah, definitely. Especially notable that Spork did have Nano of his own, so they could have, if he didn't get that Pulse Bomb stick, brought Luxie some survivability and damage as well. And sure enough, there's the Nano right there. Romy didn't quite manage to block that bomb, and Raging Cool finds 2. You know, for as much as Acid popped off the last map on Doomfist, Raging Cool is saying, you know, I can do that too.
Yeah, they both look very comfortable in this Doomfist pick, and seems to be benefiting them in this just sort of Doomfist meta.
Worth noting that Blaze still does not have his tire, despite being on Junkrat for quite a while now. Just not being able to find very much suitable targets. Beautiful Shatter coming in, finding Akimbo and Blaze from Luxie, however, he will fall. And Spork and Kernmaster are probably soon to follow. Yep, sure enough. And it looks like Yoink is now on the back foot. Managed to stall briefly, and it looks like they are stalling out some more on the point where at least Zakatar is. But didn't last for quite that long.
Cameron had a really good sleep onto Raging Cool, but unfortunately I'm pretty sure the Diva woke him up, and it did cost him his life, so.
You'll have Razor Sharp doing some advanced scouting here. Of course, now the team knows that the Tracer is running amok. Oh, Raging Cool immediately melts Razor Sharp with a quick melee and Helix Rocket. Beautiful combo there. Putting a lot of pressure up from the high ground, and sure enough, that's probably this fight for Yoink. Yeah, they're not going to be able to retake this. You do have Blaze getting... Okay, Raging Cool. Now you're just flexing on him.
Yeah, they do only have the Drug on the side of Yoink, but they do have 3 ults, and the rather impactful ones. So.
Yep. Could potentially open up the fight again with yet another Pulse Bomb. Actually, it looks like that's exactly what Razor Sharp is trying to do. Actually trying to C9, but Spork gets revenge in the best way possible. That was beautiful. Looks like Blaze is looking for the potential for a tire here. Not really finding too much, and they are going to have to split up quite a bit there as the Dragons from Acid come out. Quite a lot on the side of Overcharged, getting rather low. Raging Cool poking from the high ground. Getting a little bit low there briefly, but he can just back up. The tire does come out from the high ground. Nano coming out onto Romy, as well as Nano coming onto Luxie. Dueling Rhines here. Raging Cool does find a Pulse Bomb, but Luxie charges Razor Sharp into Romy. Gravitic Flux coming out. I don't think it really found much value. I believe it found at least 1 member, but it doesn't really matter. Late beat coming out from Tropical. Zakatar tosses in the bomb. Oh, and Luxie tosses in a late Shatter. to just melt Blaze. Luxie does fall on the at the hands of Cameron, however, but it looks like there's quite a few DPS and healers as well as Zakatar still alive, so Yoink is not out of this quite yet, but these staggers are starting to come in. And nice shatter onto Zakatar, not sure what they're going to find with this attack visor. He might, yeah, he does find Tropical, and that is a decent value target right there. But other than stalling out the clock. Yeah.
Do you have a Genji now?
Wait. Oh, he didn't get stunned. I thought he got stunned out of his ultimate. That would have been absolutely crucial. Yeah, apparently Blaze swapped off of the Junkrat there at some point during the chaos, probably just to get back to point that much faster.
And Acid is back on Doomfist, so...
Yeah, Rage and Cool swapped over to the Tracer, probably to attempt to stall now over to the Reaper. Seemed to have a good showing on Reaper on Hollywood, so it wouldn't be shocked to see him do decent here as well. Interesting lineup here from Overcharged. They didn't really take the opportunity to swap after they capped second point, so they have this weird hodgepodge of half brawl, half dive. However, they do have some ultimates coming in line. Early Nano coming out onto Romy. Razor Sharp does toss in the Pulse Bomb, does find Luxie as well, although he does manage to shield the rest of his team from it. Acid finds Cameron in the backline, but Blaze will dash him out of existence, and Yoink is not looking too hot at the moment, as Overcharge is coming up on quite a few ultimates here. Flux and Shatter in particular. Flux coming out almost immediately. The Shatter doesn't really find anything, not sure what they were doing there, but miscommunication. Romy gets collapsed on and just melted. Razor Sharp gets punched to the stratosphere, and aside from a quick pick onto Acid there, Blaze will be taken out. Akimbo is staggered as well, and the supports on the side of Overcharge have to run out.
Yeah. They have the Blade on the side of Overcharge, so...
But they no longer have Nano to combo with it. Okay, Akimbo is finally onto the D.Va, possibly for real this time. Possibly a bit too late, though. He's not really going to have the ability to eat any ultimates. Those aren't really any eatable ults right now.
I mean, he can deny the Reaper ult.
Possibly, yeah. But he's certainly not going to get a bomb anytime soon. Nice shatter there from Luxie. We'll find 4. Blaze does get taken out, but he does take out Spork before he is killed. Kimbo does get a kill onto Luxie, Acid, and Kernmaster trying to stall in the backline. Raging Cool is taken out. Tropical getting incredibly low, but he does manage to swerve out of Acid's way, and now dueling with the Doomfist, winning that duel. And now Yoink is just looking to tear down the clock. If they can't stop them from capping all 3 points, they can at least bring it to overtime yet again. I don't believe that Shatter found... No, it did find support. Okay. In the back line. You have Coalescence coming out here from Cameron that is going to be crucial to stabilize this. And sure enough, Razor Sharp finds 2 with about 3 more assists there, and they do finish it in overtime. Not the best third point push that Overcharge would have wanted. Of course, they would have wanted at least over a minute in case Yoink goes ham and gets over a minute. But we'll have to wait and see. Oh boy, the camera goes a little bit crazy there. But yeah, now it's Yoink's turn to return the favor.
Yeah, I mean, judging from Hollywood, they did cap with time, so maybe we see something similar to this, but unlike Hybrid, they will have a chance still to win it.
Yep, they will still have a chance, however. If they can cap with over a minute, it will be that much better of a chance.
Ready for battle.
Wouldn't be too shocked to see this come out on from the side of the offense here.
We do see a Soldier Junkrat. Rather interesting DPS line, but...
Yeah, they've been doing that all match, though, so I'm not shocked by it anymore. Razor Sharp seems to like that Soldier pick. Blaze, the Junkrat can work. Probably a little bit better than it did on offense, as it was just kind of awkward and didn't find much value in the end of the day. Zakatar possibly staying on that Zarya. Raging Cool.
They are running a Fire Mercy. No, never mind.
Probably not.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
okay.
yeah.
So... They do have Razor Sharp to deal with that Pharah. Okay, Zakatar is onto the D.Va. They do have the Soldier to deal with the Pharah potentially. However, a pocketed Pharah is a rather hard thing for a Soldier to completely nullify.
Yeah, to be honest, it's going to be very difficult for Overcharged. But
aside from the
Razor Sharp
Soldier,
can do it.
They don't have very much else to deal with this Pharah, so basically free reign. Blaze already getting incredibly low from the Pharah spam. Overcharge has to cycle around. And they're just being hammered from 2 sides right now. Agent Cool. Oh no, finding Cameron that early on in the fight, that's absolutely crucial. Akimbo trying his best to deal with it, but when the Pharah is pocketed like that by the Mercy, there's just too much healing, it's too much sustainability, and Romy falling. Razor Sharp does find Luxie, however, it seems to be in favor of the offense, especially with Luxie now revived. Cameron did swap over to that Ana, a little bit more pressure to help Razor Sharp deal with that Pharah, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Unless you can magically hit a anti-nade. And sure enough, 5.5 minutes. That is ungodly.
Yeah, that Pharah is really good on that first point, and they do seem to be steaming ahead, but they're on Ashe now for the side of Overcharged. Rather interesting pick, but could work.
Yeah, certainly not anything you'd consider even remotely meta, but I guess it makes sense. Because the Pharah needs to be dealt with, as they just have been getting melted in the backline. Oh, nice headshot there onto Kernmaster, however. They do peek behind the building there, and their Fire Mercy combo is now safe, for the time being at least. However, I get the feeling once they get some value, or at least attempt to get value out of this barrage, they will be swapping off of it, as there's too much to possibly nullify it for the time being. Kernmaster getting a little bit low there, Kimbo up on the high ground. Sure enough, there comes the barrage, takes out Romy. Acid finding Cameron as well, and demeching a Kimbo. That's pretty much as much value as you could hope for in this case, especially with so many on the side of Overcharged trying so heavily to counter Acid. Getting quite a few picks of his own. Ignore the Pharah, or rather, ignore the Hanzo and he'll make you regret it, as he still has his ultimate. Nice pick onto Spork there, but I'm not sure if it'll be enough. We do have a nano coming out onto Akimbo, as Romy wasn't alive to take it. However, it still looks scrappy enough where Yoink could possibly win it. Oh, but Kernmaster falling, and the beat coming out for the side of the defense might be all they needed to stabilize. Nice pin onto Romy. He's taking him off the map with him. That's probably the fight.
Oh.
And
now Overcharge is on Soldier Ashe to try to counter that fire, and they do switch off onto a Tracer.
Yeah, well, no, well, Doomfist now. And
Doomfist, yeah.
To be honest, I'm not sure if an Ashe and a Soldier are equipped to deal with a Hanzo Doomfist. You know, that's not really the DPS that you'd want for this, but for the time being, they have to deal with it. You know,
I mean, Red Sharp does have Bob for this fight, so
they do. Yeah,
we'll just use Bob and switch off of it. And they do seem to be taking high ground.
Yeah, you do have Yoink up here on the high ground. They do drop down immediately on point. Bob comes in almost immediately, as well as Bomb for Zaktar. Finds Tropical. That is absolutely crucial. However, Romy getting a shatter onto Luxie is absolutely massive. However, it doesn't look like it really matters, as Raging Cool is the only one to fall there on the side of Yoink. And it looks like Yoink is going to be cleaning up this point and taking second point with a huge time bank. I mean, 4.5 minutes is absolutely massive. And this is exactly what they needed.
It's really similar to Hollywood, with about a 4-minute time bank coming in when they had none. So
yeah, the one caveat is that neither team really has ultimates. So, well, Blaze is coming up onto his attack visor. When did Blaze swap? Okay, well there you go. Attack visor is now gone. So, no team has any ultimates. The closest is probably Kernmaster with his beat. Zaktar close behind, 34% to his bomb. So basically, you're going to see vanilla Overwatch for the next couple of fights here. Blaze trying to find some picks here onto the Reaper. Doesn't quite manage to finish him off. Romy getting punished a little bit here by Acid. But right now, it's just a poke war until further notice. Zaktar getting incredibly low, and he will get demexed. This is the time for Overcharge to push in, if anything, and sure enough, Zaktar will fall. Baby Diva. However, Romy getting incredibly low as well. Razor Sharp finds his counterpart, and that should be the cue for Yoink to back out. Yeah, sure enough. Blaze finding a lot of value here onto this Hanzo, getting quite a few picks, putting a lot of damage in on the tanks. Wouldn't be shocked to see Yoink possibly swap back over to a Hanzo of their own, but for the time being, it looks like they're staying with this. They do have both support ultimates coming online. Blaze, unsurprisingly, has the dragons basically online. However, yeah, it looks like Overcharge is coming up on quite a few more ultimates than Yoink is. Do have Yoink pushing it up onto the high ground here. Tropical getting incredibly low, but he does retreat to the rest of his team. Blaze tosses in the dragons, but Yoink really just splits. However, they are in an awkward position now, as Raging Cool is caught out alone. Romy tosses in the Shatter, will find Luxie, but the beat comes in from Kernmaster, as well as the Coalescence from Spork. Bomb comes in from Akimbo. Not sure if it'll find anything. No, it was too far behind. And it looks like Lexi might fall here. Yeah, sure enough, the healing wasn't quite enough for the burst damage coming in. However, Yoink does have quite a good man advantage if they can manage to sustain this. Looks like Romy is finally back in the fight. However, he is already incredibly low. Acid tosses in his Meteor Strike, finds Cameron, is absolutely huge. Tropical's Immortality Field isn't quite enough. And Zakatar and Raging Cool's ultimates might be exactly what they needed. Oh no, Razor Sharp's ultimates gets completely negated by Zakatar there. Blaze trying to contest the point, but just gets melted, and it looks like they're going to be taking this with just under 2 minutes. I don't think anyone can touch. Yeah, Cameron had used his fade there to get close to the point, but not quite there.
Pretty sure that was similar to Hollywood, because they did have about a 2-minute time bank, if I'm correct.
This is feeling like deja vu. Overcharged is going to have effectively, what, 2 good fights? And Yoink is going to have upside of 6. You know, so they really have put themselves in a massive position here to actually steal the series away. Dare I say, yoink the series away from Overcharged, who is the heavy favorites coming in. I mean, they've been on a 2 or 3 game winning streak, 2 game winning streak at this point, beating out some pretty good teams.
Gerardo does seem to be the kind of map where I've seen teams go from pretty much a minute time bank and steamroll all the way to last point and cap in overtime.
Okay, I like what I might be seeing here. I like first off, I like the defensive strategy because ironically, this actually might be good to deal with this Bastion pick, and I also really like the potential of the Bastion pick. Now, the important thing is that Yoink, even if they lose this first fight, depending on how early they take it, they do have the potential to have time to swap off, say, like the Reaper to a Junkrat. I think the Hanzo is fine for all things considered.
Yeah, but like you're saying, this Bastion comp's gonna have hard times, especially with the Reaper and D.Va who can just flank in the back and shoot him. And then the Hanzo ult can...
Do have a pause coming in from Overcharged.
And it does look like they are committing to this Bastion, Hanzo, pirate ship comp.
Interesting that it looks like Romy is over on the far left side from what I can see. You'd kind of expect everyone to be on the bottom center door, you know, getting to the payload so they can set up the pirate ship, but maybe they're going to be trying a little bit of a flank Bastion strat, you know, not quite a pirate ship. Although they don't really have the Symmetra to TP around as you'd expect with a non-pirate ship Bastion strat, so I don't know.
I don't know. If they do try that flank strat, it would be rather interesting. I doubt it'd work, but I mean, I have seen crazier things.
Yeah, I mean, normally I would associate Yoink with the odd strategies, but they've been keeping it relatively tame, aside from the odd DPS picks here and there. But all things considered, I think this is the best comp they could have possibly had at a random to actually deal with this Bastion, so I fear that Razor Sharp will just melt almost instantly, and you know, if Acid can get it like a good pick off onto one of the supports especially, then that might just be the push right there. Anyways.
Yeah, especially this being a pirate ship comp, they're gonna have to sit in that cart for a while before it rounds the corner and they actually fight. So if they all die, it'll probably about 15 seconds from when they start the next fight. So
yeah, and I forget the exact math, but I think it takes about it's either like 50 something seconds or like just over a minute to actually push the cart unhindered to the first point on Dorado. So it takes a while. So they're gonna be pushing it pretty hard, and they're gonna, like, by the time they get halfway through second point, they're gonna be hard in overtime. So
yeah,
it's gonna be very touch and go for them, and especially with this pirate ship strat, Yoink is gonna have a lot of time to set up the proper counters and just deal with it appropriately, you know.
yeah.
But anyways,
Really, Young's win condition here would be to try to stop them before they run to that choke. Because in that choke, the Bastion's just gonna do a lot of work, and
yeah,
I expect them to be able to probably win with the Bastion if they get to that part. But if they can hold them earlier, they could probably do it.
possibly. It depends on how fast they scout it out. You know, possibly having depends on where they have their Sonic Arrow. I didn't see where Acid had it, so they are about 2.5 minutes into their pause right now. So 2.5. Okay.
And they are.
So just want to make sure that Yoink is ready.
Hopefully they fix whatever issues they had, and we see a good match or a good round right here.
All right. I am seeing Hedwig and Dividing stopped playing Overwatch, so I'm assuming the game that they streamed is now done, meaning it might have been a 3-0. Okay. Okay, yeah, Yoink is very ready. So we
I mean, this
are...
map has been rather close, so.
Yeah. So...
I mean, yeah, whatever, yeah.
We are hopping into it. No, sure enough, Romy just took the long way around. Okay, interesting. Blaze has the Sombra now instead of the Bastion, or instead of the Hanzo, that's what he was. So they do set up the Pyro Chip early Immortality Field. I feel like they're going to be regretting that.
Yeah, that was a wasted Immortality Field right there.
That might have just cost them the entire push. However, Zakatar gets DMAX'd immediately. I'm not sure what he was expecting there. Just playing chicken with a Bastion is not exactly what is advised by standard Doctor. However, Raging Cool already is in the backline. He does Wraith form out. However, the pressure is coming out onto Razor Sharp. He's immediately downed. And that might be where the card finishes. However, Cameron and Kimbo might have just brought this back. Luxie and Acid are two huge picks. In particular, Raging Cool getting rather low as well. Spork trying to keep everyone up. Zakatar getting a little bit low there.
Tropical's res did get cancelled there, so he does not have it for this final push.
Spork already has Coalescence. He might have to use it right here. Not using it quite yet. Holding on to it probably until Luxie and Acid get back. Here comes the Orb. Still no Coalescence. I would have expected it by now. I'm getting antsy. Zakatar is hacked out. Gravitic Flux
is set up.
Coming out. Coalescence coming out as well. Beautiful Shatter coming out from Luxie, finding 3, and Spork finding 3 with his Coalescence. That is extremely winnable, but also might be difficult depending on what defense Overcharged
but they did get it past that choke, which is a rather good place to hold. So I think that it is possible to hold them at that small choke for a couple minutes.
Certainly is. It's both winnable and losable. It's really dependent here on, I think, the defense. You know, because the offense, Yoink has been playing pretty darn well. We can expect them to have the capability, if Overcharged is lacking in their defense, to actually push past it. I'm very curious to see what both of these teams are running now. I kind of wouldn't expect Yoink to pull out a Bastion of their own, but I could see some niche strategies. Or just run with the Pharaoh that worked last time. Interesting here.
Overcharge does seem to be like recognizing it could have a fire again. Stars is very good on this first one in Gerardo. So they are running, I guess technically double hit scan with the Torp turret, so.
Yeah, I would say that is a decent answer to the potential of a Pharah, depending on where they put the turret. Interesting here, Acid is on to the Doomfist.
But they could be switching off it, because Spork is the flex support and he's on Mercy, and I doubt they'd run out on Lucio Mercy, but maybe.
Okay. I see Zakaro is now stopped playing Overwatch, so I think we're the last game. Interesting.
Very close game.
Okay, so we do have pretty standard, so this actually might be huge for the offense, because Torb and Soldier aren't exactly the best to deal with a Reaper and a Hanzo, you know, especially since they took the low ground as well. I mean, it would have worked if they had played the Pharah, however, they also would have had time to just swap off onto this, so very risky play here. Acid already putting in a lot of work. Razor Sharp getting incredibly low there. Blaze still half health, not quite getting the healing he needs there. Cameron and Tropical are getting rather close, about halfway. Luxie getting incredibly low as well as Raging Cool. He already falls, however, Acid finds Tropical. That might be larger, as the offense does have a relative spawn advantage here. It's rather close. Acid just poking in from the sideline, now has to back out for the rest of his team. Does get rocked by Kimbo, and it looks like the defense will hold for the time being, but they are coming up on some ultimates, and they do have 2 minutes left. They're not quite into panic mode yet, and this is getting kind of dicey if you're Overcharged. Like, you really want to
I'd expect the model press Q.
Yep.
And
interesting, we have Raging Cool swap off of, what was he playing? Reaper? Yeah, Reaper onto the Junkrat. I think that might actually be decent here.
It's a very close range comp, so I can see it finding work.
Interesting rotation here from Yoink. I don't think I've seen very many teams play this, but again, I've seen very few teams hold where Overcharged is. Nice BAP window coming out. Acid is so close to his dragons, and that might be what they need. Sure enough, Spork gets taken out by a rogue Helix rocket. Immortality Field taken out already. Overcharge isn't going to have that. Akimbo falling is huge. Tropical getting incredibly low. And Razor Sharp falling. It's just Blaze on the side of the... Actually, it's one, I believe, on each roll. And sure enough, there goes Cameron as well. Raging Cool does fall. Blaze on the payload, trying to duel with Acid. Not quite working out the way he planned as Spork finishes him off. And I don't believe it. Yoink complete the upset That was incredible.
What a game by Yoink, yeah.
Wow. You know, that might have
Play of the game.
killed Overcharge's chances at making playoffs. I haven't done the math
Yeah,
yet.
Overcharged can no longer make playoffs.
Oh no. And that's so tragic because they've looked so good these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know, people really wanted to see them make it. Oh god, that was quite the coalescence. Nice
Yeah,
work there.
depending on if High Society won, I'm pretty sure they're out.
I can actually check. But in the meantime, let's first see who we want to interview on the side of Yoink. I don't have any particular preference, do you?
The DPS played very good. I think Zaktar played really good. Spork, but I mean, everyone really played good. I don't really know. Let's see if any of them asked for it.
Oh, let me fix the score line. There we go.
Did you be saying Spork?
All
Yeah.
right. Let me go find him. Spork. Oh god, where are they?
Lobby 3. I believe.
There's so many people in lobby 3. Where?
I see.
Okay, wait. There. Which?
Sport.
What's Spork's? Because I see. Wait, what's Spork? But that's different. Burnmaster. Where is everyone? Okay, Alligator Andre. That's not it.
Is he Lechuga?
Oh, he might be. Yep, that is okay. We're what in casting booth 2, 3?
3. Yes, casting is 3.
Okay, where?
Uh,
Let me unmute. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations on that massive upset. I don't think anyone was
We
expecting
broke
that.
the curse.
Yeah, you
First
certainly.
game we've ever gone to a map for. Pretty wild.
What did Dorado feel like for you?
It was exciting to win.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, a lot of people are expecting Overcharged the way they've been looking the past couple weeks to just take it away.
Yoink cashed in on our scrim bucks.
Dare I say you yoinked this win away from Overcharged. And
Yeah.
I believe, depending on how the other matches have played out tonight, which I can actually check that, I think, you might still be in playoff contention. Let's see. Wait, what beat High Society in a map 5? I don't know what the other game was, and no one said it.
yeah, I think they do still have contention. Yeah.
Okay, Powerhouse beat Shanghai 3-1. So I think Yoink is still in playoff contention because of this game.
The
So that's-
playoff dream.
It's
It was high
still
stakes
alive.
for us.
So, what sort of happened in between, like, the, what was it, like, after map 3, I want to say? Or no, after map 1, like, on Ilios, you guys kind of got, like, steamrolled. What happened between then and,
I
map 2?
wouldn't say steamroll.
I mean, Overcharge took it pretty dominantly. And then you guys came
Okay,
back and just
maybe a
absolutely
little bit.
Well, that's decent because, you know, you guys came back and took the next 3 maps pretty demanding. So, like, what happened in between map 1 and 2?
I think on Ilios we've been scrimming. We scrimmed well, but we've been changing up the comps on Ilios, so it's an odd map for us. Not our strongest, but we just remembered how to play, I guess.
There.
We wanted to break the curse. We needed to go.
You had to have at least one.
We had to go and get to map 4.
Fair enough. Do you have any questions, Pineapple? Or?
Like, what do you expect on going into this week with Megon? Like, did you really plan on running that Doom Reaper comp, or is it more on the fly?
Well, most of the week we were not practicing Doom Reaper, and then yesterday's scrim, I forgot who said it, but they're like Doom Reaper. So I was expecting to play a lot more Ana, and then I got put on the Moira. But I think Doom Reaper is really strong for us, so we didn't have a problem switching over.
Actually, speaking of the Moira pick, you got a lot of value out of your coalescences. In particular, like, was there any particular cue in the fights that you were looking for to use it, or it's just like, oh hey, I have coalescence, cue?
Coalescence is an ability, not an ultimate.
Fair.
When I get coal, use coal. Keep Lexi up with coal. That's about it.
Well, it certainly worked, because I think he got like what 3 out of the 4 play of the matches with coalescence. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all the questions I've got. Unless Pineapple, you've got something else.
I don't. Congratulations.
All right, yeah, we'll let you get back to your team.
Wait.
Oh.
Make sure to follow Yoink OW Arab on Twitter.
Okay. Anyways, we'll let you get back to your team. Enjoy the rest of the night. Congrats again on the win.
Thank
you. All right. That did not go as I was expecting, to be honest. That was awesome match.
Yeah, surprising. Really good game, yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to do the math now, but I think there is some way for Yoink to get into the playoffs that's actually reasonable because High Society lost.
Yeah, it is updated. So High Society and Yoink are both 3 and 5.
Oh
That's
no!
it. High Society only has a 3 map differential above them.
Oh,
so they can very easily take this. Yeah.
Hold on, let me open up the standings now. Now I'm curious. This is incredible. This just like threw everything out the window. Like, people were expecting, Overcharged to actually make a run for the playoffs, and okay, let's see. So yeah, currently High Society is still above Yoink with a -4 map differential as opposed to Yoink's -7. Yoink is actually versing High Society next week, so that is going to be another game that's just like balls to the wall, everything at stake, and that's fascinating. I'm actually shocked to see Powerhouse taking Shanghai again. I wasn't expecting them to recover that quickly. But anyways, Yoink is still in the game. Overcharged, unfortunately, I think is out of it.
Yeah, Overcharged, Dunning-Kruger effect, and Botburgers all are out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think Botburgers technically are, but pretty much. So
Botburgers, no, they're out. Actually, I think Overcharged is still technically in it, but it would require High Society and Yoink to. Okay, yeah, so no, they can't, because High Society and Yoink would both have to lose the rest of their matches, and then Overcharged have to win, but they verse each other. So Overcharged is effectively out of the playoffs, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to see more of that team in the postseason because they're definitely better than a current 11th place out of 12 in the overall standings. But
yeah, but they did have like a really bad original roster, correct?
Yeah, well, they had a bad like 2 versions of the roster, and then version 3 happened, and they had diverse like Powerhouse at their peak, and then like it just went downhill from there, and then they rebuilt and have this like version 4 that's still really good, but unfortunately they couldn't take the win. Yoink is that sneaky dark horse. They've been taking wins off of the odd team every now and then.
Possibly. They did look really strong today. I mean, I haven't really like in-depthly watched other intermediate games, but they did look pretty strong for intermediate.
Yeah, honestly, if they played like they did tonight, they probably could have taken it off of most intermediate teams, aside from like probably Shanghai and possibly like Vitalize. But yeah, solid match. I hope everyone watching the VOD of this enjoyed it. I hope everyone watching the stream on Overcharged's perspective didn't have to witness Overcharge molding too bad. But yeah, have you got any closing statements, Pineapple?
No. Don't get tilted.
And with that, we'll end it. So peace, nut.